Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be taking our plants that we started from seed a couple of weeks ago and up-potting them to their next home, which is an 18-ounce plastic generic cup that they're going to be residing in until it's time for them to go outside into the raised beds here in the spring. So let's dive right into up-potting our plants. So up-potting is even easier and requires less tools than starting our seeds out. All we need is a new soil. So basically, you need new soil because the soil that we use to start our seeds doesn't hold water very well. So we need new garden soil, good potting mix that does retain water pretty well. So that's what we're going to be using here to up pot our plants. Next, like I said, you can do this cheap. If you just get some 18-ounce plastic cups here, just generic cups, that'll work just fine. We're just going to poke a little hole in the bottom of them. That way they can still suck up water and still sit in our trays. Those will work fine until they're ready to go outside. We have our pot of dirt, and of course, we'll need our water to get our dirt nice and wet before we put it into our pots. So that's all we need. On top of that, we need our plants, of course, and we're ready to roll. It's pretty simple, straightforward, easy process. Let's do it. So the first thing we want to do is get some dirt in our bucket, just like the first step we do when we are starting our seeds. We're just going to add water to our dirt, just get it nice and damp, and then we're going to start adding it to our pots. So we're not going to fill our little cups to the brim here. You're going to see that we're going to keep a little bit of space at the top left. That way, when we move our plant from our old cell, the roots and the leftover dirt from it will be able to fit into our plant or into our new pot. And then whatever room we have left at the top, we will just top it off with some more of our soil. So we'll do a couple more of these here. All right, so we got all our pots filled with our new potting soil. Now it's time to take our plants from our cells and transplant them into our new little pots. So to do this, I use this little pick, but a popsicle stick or a tongue depressor does the exact same thing, and they're probably a lot cheaper if you don't already have these kits. So the first thing we want to do is take our tray, our cells out of the water base. But you can see all of the roots that have developed in our little cells here. They're ready to go. They're ready to be transplanted into something bigger. So what we're going to do is take our little scoop or our tongue depressor, whatever we have, and we're going to try to get these cucumber plants up from this cell without breaking the roots. We want to keep them intact if we can. So that is what we're going to do here. Just nice little gentle pulls until they pop free, just like that. Boom. We have our first couple plants here. We've got 2 cucumber plants ready to be potted up into their next little home. So to do that, for right now, I'm not going to thin the plants out too much. Since there's only 2 here, these 2 will be able to live symbiotically in this little cup here for a good amount of time. They're not hardy enough yet to be able to be moving them all around, ripping the roots apart and divvying them up. So for now, these 2 are just going to stay in this little cup here together, but they now have more room for them to grow out until it's time for them to get split up. So like I said earlier, now we're just going to take our dirt and we're just going to top it off, fill in around the plant, just like that. That's all it takes. Now we have 2 cucumber plants in their next home until we start thinning them out, which may not even happen. We could luck out and get an early spring and be able to transplant these outside before it's time to even start splitting them up. So again, we're going to take our little depressor down along the side here and gently pull up. I like to lift this up off the ground here since the roots are a little longer. That way they're not getting snapped off in the bottom. Gently pull up. There we go. We've got our next little plant here down into our soil. There we are, plant number 2. And we're just going to continue to repeat this step, repeat this process, get all of these plants out and into their new cups. If you run out of cups, that's fine. I have some biodegradable little pots that we can use. I have plastic pots. You can use old yogurt containers. I like to use these cottage cheese containers. You can use those. Save any old container you have, plastic containers, just drill a hole in the bottom of them and you're good to go. So we're gonna keep doing that and move on to the next step. Once these are all potted up, I'll come back and get you. So now the only thing we have left to do after we've up potted them is to stick them underneath our light. I just have this little greenhouse here, but that's all we need to do. Just stick them underneath our light and they're gonna stay there for a couple more weeks. As the plants get bigger, we'll move our light higher and higher to get it further away from the plant, but initially we want the light as low and as close to the plants as possible. So we're gonna continue to water these guys. You can either put them back in the tray so they soak up water from the bottom, or you can leave these cups without any holes in the bottom and just add water to the top. But that's all we're gonna do. We're gonna leave these guys sit there for a couple more weeks, let them grow until they get a little bit bigger. If they get too big, we can always up pot them again. We have our bush like beans here. They'll likely get big enough before they go outside that we'll need to put a trellis or something for them to climb up, because these are pole beans. So for the time being, they're gonna sit on the second row. You don't need the heat mat anymore, so that is gonna get shut off. That'll get unplugged and removed, as we don't need that once they're up potted. You still want the area that they're in to be a temperate 70 degrees, a little humid, just to keep them growing. But we are gonna remove this heat mat because it's no longer needed. There's no point powering it if we're not gonna need it. So this is what it's gonna be. We'll leave these in here for a couple more weeks until they're ready to go either outside or up into their next pot. And that's all there is to it. That's up potting. So if you like this video, please give us a big dirty thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, give us a comment down below, let us know what you want to see next. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.
They call me a